And that's a day in the life of Councilman Hartney. This is Ted Baxter saying good night and good news.
I hope you're satisfied. We had a fire here once and more people stayed.
Harry, I don't believe it. You've done the impossible. You've made Ted Baxter look dull. Well, I'm leaving. The check taken care of, Lou?
No, it isn't, Ted.
That's okay, no rush.
Well, I thought it was terrific. I thought it was just terrific. In fact, I think it was more than terrific. I think it was terrific, and I am sure that everybody really loved that show. Really.
There were 20 people here. Not one of them stayed. A drunk at the bar watched for 2 minutes and then went home to his wife.
Yeah, and he's been divorced for 15 years. Listen, I gotta go back to work.
Well, you just listen. Just because people left doesn't mean that they didn't really love that show. It just means that they had other places to go.
What about the ones who didn't finish their drinks?
Not thirsty?
Murray left after the first commercial.
Well, Mr. Grant, I have my theory that everybody loved the show, and apparently you have another theory. What is your theory?
My theory is that if we showed this documentary by satellite to the world, this would no longer be a crowded planet.
Well, let me just say this to you, then. I know you're right. Nobody wants to watch the good things that happen in a documentary. They only want to watch the rotten things. Do you know what that means, Mr. Grant? That if it weren't for the rotten things that happen in this world, we couldn't put on the news show. We should be grateful to all the people who do those rotten things. We should stop them in the streets and say, thank you, Mr. Mugger. Thank you, Mr. Thief. Thank you, Mr. Maniac. Thank you, Mr. Grant. If it weren't for those people, you and I would be out of jobs. It's a lousy business we're in, Mr. Grant. I quit.
Mary,
It's a
don't be
lousy
silly.
business, Mr. Grant, and it's a lousy world. And I am going to Africa to work with Schweitzer.
Schweitzer is dead.
Do you see what I mean, Mr. Lousy, lousy world.
Sit down. It wasn't such a bad idea you had. People probably do want to watch good news. You want to know what the trouble with tonight was? I'll tell you what the trouble was. We put on a bad show. You and I pooled our talents to produce the worst documentary in the history of television. We did a really lousy job.
Mr. Grant?
What?
Are you sure you're not just saying that to cheer me up?